Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could be the very thing you've been waiting for your entire life, or the chance you'll regret ignoring forever. Right now, in this very moment, your future is hanging by a thread. One choice could open the door to everything you've ever wanted. Another choice could lock you inside the same loop of fear, hesitation, and wasted years. Do you feel that pressure in your chest? That quiet whisper telling you there's more for me? That isn't random. That is your higher self screaming at you, begging you to wake up before it's too late. Science confirms it. When you resist change, your nervous system traps you in survival mode. Your brain gets addicted to the chemicals of the past, pulling you back into the same mistakes. But quantum physics reveals something terrifying and beautiful. Your awareness collapses infinite possibilities into one reality. If you stay blind, you collapse the wrong one. Look at Sarah from San Francisco. She ignored her inner calling for years. Every time she hesitated, opportunities vanished. Until one night during meditation, the fear hit so hard she broke down crying. But that breakdown became her breakthrough, the moment her entire destiny shifted. And now I ask you, what about you? Will you keep postponing the life you were meant to live, or will you step forward right here, right now? Comment, I hear it below. If you feel that hidden voice calling your name. Like this video if you refuse to let fear win again. Because this is not just another video. This is your warning. This is your invitation, and this moment will never come again. But wait, let's go deeper. Why is it that when you are closest to your dream, fear strikes harder than ever? Why does the moment of opportunity feel like the moment of greatest resistance? It is because your body has been trained, chemically wired, to pull you back into the familiar. Your heart wants freedom, but your nervous system wants safety. And safety often means staying stuck. Joe Dispenza explains it clearly. The body becomes addicted to the very emotions that once protected you. Stress, worry, doubt, your system feeds on them like fuel. And when you attempt to rise higher, the body screams, "Don't you dare." But that scream is not a signal to stop. It is proof that you are on the edge of transformation. Imagine this. You stand before two doors. Behind one door, everything you've ever desired. Behind the other, everything you've already lived repeated endlessly. Which will you choose? And more importantly, how many more times will you walk through the wrong door before you finally decide? Sarah's story is not unique. She was ordinary. She sat at her desk day after day, knowing she was capable of more. But fear whispered lies. You'll fail. You'll lose. You're not ready. Until one night, the tears came. She thought she was falling apart. But in truth, she was being remade. Within months, she launched her own company. She stopped collapsing the reality of fear and began collapsing the reality of expansion. And you, yes, you listening, are standing in the same place. Do you hear the whisper? Do you feel the pull? If you ignore it now, tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday. And years from now, you may look back and wonder why you stayed silent when your soul was shouting. This is not just a motivational talk. This is not a feel-good story. This is a mirror. It is showing you what happens when you choose courage and what happens when you don't. So ask yourself, how much longer will you negotiate with your fear? How much longer will you allow hesitation to steal your destiny? You already know the truth. You are capable of more. You are designed for more. And deep down, you have always known it. If Sarah could do it, why not you? If countless others have stepped through fear into power, why not you? The difference is not talent. The difference is not luck. The difference is decision. And decision happens not tomorrow, not someday, but now. In this breath, in this heartbeat, in this exact second. So comment, I hear it, below right now. Type the words as a declaration to yourself. Hit like, not for me, but for you. As a signal that you are choosing expansion over fear. Because make no mistake, this opportunity is slipping even as you listen. Every second you delay, the chemicals of the past tighten their grip. Every moment you hesitate, the old self grows stronger. But every moment you act, every time you choose courage, you collapse a new reality. A reality where you lead, not follow. Where you expand, not shrink. Where you create, not repeat. This is your line in the sand. This is your turning point. This is the moment history will look back on and say, that's when it all began. Do not waste it. Do not scroll away. Do not go back to sleep. Your higher self is calling. Your destiny is knocking, and it will not knock forever. Choose now. Act now. Step forward before the chance disappears, because your life is waiting, and this moment, this exact moment, will never return. Because your body has been programmed for thousands of years only to survive, not to expand. Think about that for a moment. Every cell inside you carries the memory of ancestors who lived through famine, war, and danger. Their only mission was survival. Not thriving, not dreaming, not building a new destiny, just staying alive one more day. And that ancient program still runs inside you now. That's why when you try to change, your chest tightens. That's why when you take one step toward your dream, fear rushes in. Not because you are weak, not because you are failing, but because your nervous system believes expansion is danger. The amygdala, your brain's alarm bell, fires when you step into the unknown. It doesn't care if the unknown is success, love, or freedom. It only cares that it is unfamiliar. And the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain designed to plan and reason, struggles to take back control. This is the battle you feel inside, a battle not of logic, but of ancient biology. Yet here's the secret: neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to rewire, to form new pathways, to break free from old patterns. You are not a prisoner of that ancient survival code. You can train your brain and body to see expansion, not as danger, but as destiny. Let me tell you about James. He was a soldier in Iraq. He came home with scars you couldn't always see. Every sound, every shadow pulled his body back into war. PTSD chained him to the past. Therapy was offered, but he refused, because facing the pain felt like death itself. He believed survival meant shutting down, staying small, never opening the door again. But one night, alone in his room, he tried something different. He sat in silence, he closed his eyes, and he breathed. At first, the panic screamed, his body shook, his chest burned, but he kept breathing, and slowly, something shifted. The amygdala began to calm, the storm lost its grip, and James discovered a truth: his nervous system could be retrained. From that night forward, he practiced breathwork, meditation, moments of stillness when the old programming tried to drag him back. And over time, the chains weakened. His brain rewired itself. He was no longer trapped in survival. He began to expand. Today, James teaches other veterans what he learned. He shows them that trembling hands, racing hearts, and restless nights are not proof of failure, but proof that the body is adapting. He tells them what I'm telling you now. Resistance is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your transformation. So let me ask you, how many times have you felt your body shake when you tried to change? How many times did you mistake that resistance for weakness? How many times did you retreat, thinking something was wrong with you, when in truth something was awakening in you? What if every tremor, every rush of fear, every wave of doubt was a signal that you are stepping out of survival, a signal that you are breaking the code of the past, a signal that you are expanding into a reality your ancestors never knew was possible? This is the paradox. The moment you feel the strongest resistance is the moment you are closest to growth. The fear is not an enemy. It is a compass. It points directly at the place where your old self dies and your new self is born. So the next time your hands shake, breathe. The next time your chest tightens, stay. The next time your mind screams run, listen deeper. Because underneath the noise, there is a whisper. And that whisper is your future calling. Science proves this. Neurons that fire together wire together. Each time you choose courage, you strengthen a new pathway in your brain. Each time you breathe instead of retreat, you reprogram your nervous system. Each time you move forward despite fear, you collapse a different reality. This is not theory, this is biology, and biology can be bent. It can be rewired, it can be transformed. So now I turn to you. Have you ever felt your whole body resist when you tried to step into the unknown? Did you mistake that for weakness? Or can you see it now for what it truly is, the threshold of your expansion? If you've ever felt that trembling, that storm inside, comment "I know" below. Type it as your declaration. Hit like to remind yourself and everyone watching that you are not broken. You are evolving, because every moment you resist is proof that you are alive. Every tremor is proof that you are on the edge of transformation. And every time you choose to keep going, you rewrite the code of thousands of years. This is your body's ancient story, but you are the author now. You can end the chapter of survival. You can write the chapter of expansion. So I ask you once more, if fear is not your enemy, then what is it? And what secret is it trying to reveal to you right now? Fear is the map that reveals where your old self is crumbling. Think about that. Every time fear rises, it isn't a wall. It's a doorway. It shows you the exact place your old identity refuses to let go. It points with painful accuracy to the part of you that must die for a stronger self to be born. Most people misread the map. They see fear and run. They feel the shaking, the heat, the pounding heart, and assume something is wrong. But what if nothing is wrong? What if everything is right? What if fear is not a warning to retreat, but a signal to expand? Science has already given us the clues. The fight or flight response is ancient biology. When danger appears, adrenaline floods your system, cortisol spikes, muscles tighten. But here's the secret no one told you. Your body does not know the difference between a lion chasing you and an audience staring at you. Your brain treats both as threats. The question is, will you keep obeying that survival code, or will you learn to rewrite it? Amanda once believed fear meant she wasn't ready. She was a young CEO in New York, standing on stage with trembling hands, knees locked, voice cracking. Every cell in her body screamed, "Sit down, run away, hide." She thought it was proof she didn't belong. But then something shifted. She stopped fighting the fear. She stopped trying to bury it. She sat with it. She let the shaking happen. She let the sweat roll down her palms, and in that surrender, a strange thing occurred. Her voice grew stronger. The audience leaned in. The message cut deeper, and Amanda realized fear wasn't her enemy, it was her compass. It was pointing directly to the place she needed to grow. That day became the foundation of her career, from trembling on one stage to speaking powerfully on stages across the world. So let me ask you, what about your fear? That fear of failing? That fear of rejection? That fear of being seen for who you really are? What if each one is a compass needle, spinning and pointing toward the very breakthrough you've been waiting for? You see, fear doesn't appear randomly. It's precise. It shows up when you stand on the edge of transformation. It arrives at the exact doorway where your old self resists and your new self is waiting. Ignore it, and you retreat back into the cycle of the past. Follow it, and you step into the unknown where expansion lives. The difference is not whether you feel fear. Everyone does. The difference is whether you can pause, breathe, and observe. Because the moment you observe fear with awareness, it loses its claws. It stops being a monster and becomes a map. So what if you began to treat fear as a guide? What if, instead of asking, how do I get rid of this fear, you asked, what is this fear pointing to? That one shift of perception could change everything. Because suddenly, fear no longer means stop. It means go. It means right here, right now, you are stepping into the place where your destiny waits. And let's be honest, how many opportunities have you missed because fear whispered not yet? How many dreams have you postponed because fear told you you're not ready? How many times did you walk away from the very path that could have changed your life simply because your body shook? It's time to reframe it. Fear is not the sign you're failing. Fear is the evidence you're growing. Fear is the compass pointing at the locked door, and behind that door is everything you've been asking for. Amanda discovered that truth. At first, she thought she was breaking, but later she realized she was breaking through. Every tear, every tremor, every breath of panic was carving her into the leader she was meant to become. Her story is not unique. It's simply the story of someone who finally stopped running from the compass and started following it. And so I turn to you. What is your fear pointing to? Where is your compass leading you? Is it the dream you've avoided? The truth you've hidden? The step you've delayed for years? Do not run from it. Do not bury it. Do not silence it. Fear is here to serve you. Fear is here to guide you. Fear is the raw material of your transformation. So, listen to me now. If you are ready to stop treating fear as the enemy, if you are ready to see it as the map to your higher self, then take action in this moment. Comment the word fear below, not as a confession, but as a declaration that you are willing to look at the map, a declaration that you are willing to follow it. Like this video, if you know that fear has been chasing you, but now you choose to chase your destiny, because this moment is not random. You are hearing these words because your compass is already moving. You are already standing at the threshold, and the only question left is, will you step through? Because here is the truth you cannot ignore. Fear will not vanish. Fear will not disappear. but it will transform when you face it. It will guide you when you listen, and it will carry you into the very life you've been waiting to live. So, tell me this. If fear is the compass and it points to the doorway of your destiny, who inside you is the one holding the map? Who is the observer, the presence, the awareness that can turn fear into fuel, hesitation into power, and trembling into triumph? That is consciousness, the very nucleus that gives birth to every quantum possibility within you. Pause and let that sink in. You are not just a body, you are not just a mind, you are the observer and the creator. You hold the brush that paints reality itself. For centuries, humanity believed that matter was the foundation of everything, that we are mechanical beings trapped in a universe of solid, unchangeable laws. But modern science has shattered that illusion. Amit Goswami and pioneers of quantum physics revealed a truth both terrifying and magnificent. Consciousness is not a side effect of matter. It is the source. It is the ground of all being, and the proof is undeniable. The double-slit experiment, one of the most famous in physics, showed that particles behave differently when observed. When no one watches, they exist as infinite possibilities. But when observed, the wave collapses into a single reality. Do you understand what this means? Your awareness changes the outcome of the universe. You are not a passive witness. You are the one who chooses which possibility becomes real. Robert, a scientist at MIT, once wrestled with this idea. He believed only in numbers, formulas, and data. But in the lab, during experiments with light and matter, he saw the impossible. The results changed when consciousness was involved. He stared at the data, night after night, unable to deny what it revealed. His mind cracked open. Reality was no longer a machine, it was a canvas, and consciousness was the hand that shaped it. So now I ask you, what are you collapsing into reality? Are you collapsing fear, doubt, hesitation, repeating the same past again and again? Or are you collapsing courage, expansion, and the life you've secretly known was waiting for you? This is not philosophy, this is science. And science is telling you you are more powerful than you were ever led to believe. Think about it. Every thought you have sends ripples into the quantum field. Every emotion you carry programs the lens through which reality forms. When you live unconsciously, you keep collapsing the same small story. But when you wake up, when you become aware, you begin to write a new story. And that story reshapes not just your life, but the very fabric of existence. Imagine your consciousness like a projector. Whatever film you load, fear, anger, love, gets projected onto the screen of reality. The universe does not choose for you, it reflects you. So the question is not whether you are creating reality. The question is, what reality are you creating? Robert learned that awareness was not passive. Once he embraced it, his entire career shifted. He began to teach students that science and consciousness are not enemies, but allies. He reminded them that the observer is not outside the equation. The observer is the equation. And suddenly, physics was no longer sterile. It was alive, it was human, it was personal. And isn't that what you feel too? Deep inside, haven't you always sensed that your thoughts matter? That your emotions shape more than just your inner world? That reality bends to the frequency you carry? You were right to feel that. You were right to believe it. Because consciousness has always been the architect. So let me challenge you right now. What would change if you truly accepted that your awareness creates reality? Would you keep thinking the same self-defeating thoughts? Would you keep recycling the same excuses? Would you keep collapsing the same fear-based story? Or would you finally dare to project something greater? This is your moment, not tomorrow, not next year. This moment, because every second you think, feel, and observe, you are shaping the world around you. So if you believe deep down that your consciousness can change not just your life, but the world itself, comment "believe" below. Type it as a declaration. Hit like as a signal to yourself that you are done being a passive witness. You are the creator now. Do not underestimate this. Every breath you take is collapsing infinite realities. Every choice you make is writing your destiny. Every thought is a seed in the soil of the quantum field, and the harvest will always match the seed. So I leave you with this question, one that only you can answer. If consciousness is the nucleus of all possibility, then how will you ensure that it is not just an idea in your mind, but a living force embodied in your life right now? You must teach your body to feel the future before it happens. Let that sentence echo inside you, because until now, you've been teaching your body to repeat the past. Every memory, every disappointment, every old wound has trained your cells to live in yesterday. And if your body keeps feeling yesterday, your future can only be a mirror of the past. But here's the breakthrough. Science has revealed that your body cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined future and a lived experience of the past. When you rehearse a thought long enough, when you immerse in an emotion deeply enough, the biology responds as if it is already real. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains this clearly. If you can create the feeling of gratitude, joy, abundance before it arrives, your body begins to believe the future is happening now. And once your body believes, your reality shifts. Think about this. Emotions are chemical records of the past. But if you learn to generate emotions of the future, courage, freedom, abundance, you reprogram your biology. You are no longer a prisoner of memory. You become a pioneer of possibility. Emily understood this. A single mother in Texas, she had every reason to surrender. Bills piled up, dreams seemed far away, the weight of survival pressed against her every day. But she decided to do something radical. Every night she wrote in a gratitude journal. Not about the life she had, but about the life she wanted. She pictured her store opening, customers walking in, her children smiling with pride. She didn't just think it, she felt it. She closed her eyes until her body was trembling with the emotions of a future not yet lived. And something extraordinary happened. Her body began to believe. She woke each morning with energy she hadn't felt in years. Opportunities started appearing, connections, small wins, unexpected support. 1 year later, Emily opened the doors to her very own store. The reality she had rehearsed in her mind and body became the reality she walked into. Now ask yourself, what reality are you teaching your body to believe? Are you rehearsing fear, lack, and doubt until they become your daily biology? Or will you choose to rehearse courage, expansion, and joy until your body has no choice but to create them? This is not fantasy, this is neuroscience. Studies show that mental rehearsal builds new neural pathways. Your brain fires as if the event is happening, wiring your future into the present. And when your brain and body are aligned with that future, the quantum field cannot resist. It must reorganize itself around the energy you emit. But here is the trap. Most people practice the wrong thing. They wake up and replay yesterday. They remember the argument, the failure, the stress, and they refuel the same emotions. Day after day, they collapse the same reality. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But you, right now, you are being handed a choice. Will your body remain addicted to the past, or will you train it to fall in love with the future? Imagine this. Every morning, you close your eyes and feel the success you haven't lived yet. You breathe in the confidence. You taste the joy. You hear the applause, the laughter, the freedom. And as you feel it, your body becomes a living magnet. You no longer chase your future. Your future begins chasing you. Emily is proof of this. Science is proof of this. And deep down, you know this truth has always been whispering to you. So I challenge you now. Don't just think about the future you want. Feel it. Flood your body with it. Rehearse it until your biology has no choice but to believe it. Because the moment your body believes, the universe responds. The moment your body knows, reality bends. And the moment you align with that future, time collapses. So if you are ready, if you are truly ready to teach your body to live in the future instead of the past, hit like right now. Type it as a declaration that you refuse to let old emotions write your destiny. Because this moment is rare. This invitation will not repeat. And your future is waiting for you to claim it. But let me leave you with this question. If you can teach your body to feel the future now, how do you make sure your body and your brain hold that change, not for a moment, but for a lifetime? Because your brain can be rewired, it is not fixed. Do you understand the magnitude of that truth? For years, people believed the brain was a machine, locked in place, unchangeable after a certain age. But science has revealed something revolutionary: neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to reshape itself, to build new connections, to break old ones, to adapt, to heal, to transform again and again. This means you are not trapped in who you were yesterday. You are not condemned to repeat the same mistakes. You are not defined by trauma, failure, or limitation. Your brain is clay, And every choice, every thought, every habit is sculpting it. But here's the catch. The brain doesn't change through one massive leap. It changes through small, consistent signals. Tiny daily habits carve new pathways far more effectively than rare bursts of effort. Neurons that fire together, wire together. And with each repetition, those pathways grow stronger until they become the very fabric of who you are. Michael, a firefighter from New Jersey, learned this the hard way. One night during a rescue, an accident left him with severe memory loss. Doctors told him he might never fully recover. For months, he felt trapped inside his own fog. Faces blurred, names slipped away. Even the simplest routines felt like mountains. But then something unexpected happened. In therapy, he was encouraged to pick up a musical instrument. At first, it felt pointless. His fingers stumbled, his mind resisted. But slowly, day after day, note after note, something began to shift. The music activated dormant parts of his brain. New pathways lit up, old memories began to surface. And with each practice session, his brain rewired itself. Today, Michael not only regained much of his memory, he also teaches music to children, using his story as proof that the brain can heal, adapt, and grow stronger than before. So let me ask you, how many times have you told yourself, this is just who I am? How many times have you believed, I can't change? What if those words were lies your old wiring fed you? What if the only thing standing between you and transformation is repetition, commitment, and the belief that your brain can bend? Think about it. Every time you repeat a habit, you reinforce a neural circuit. If you choose fear, you wire fear. If you choose courage, you wire courage. If you choose doubt, you wire doubt. But if you choose faith, gratitude, or vision, you wire those too. Your brain doesn't care what you rehearse. It only builds what you feed it. This is why the little things matter. Writing one line in a journal, breathing deeply for 2 minutes, saying a word of gratitude before sleep. Each act may feel small, but together they become highways in your brain. And those highways lead to a future far greater than your past. Michael's recovery wasn't magic, it was neuroplasticity in action. His story is not about luck, it's about proof. Proof that your brain is waiting for you to train it. Proof that no matter how broken you feel, the clay of your mind can be reshaped. But here's the urgency. If you don't take control, your brain will keep wiring itself automatically. It will reinforce the same patterns you've always lived. The same fears, the same excuses, the same limitations. Day after day, your biology will deepen the grooves of the past unless you choose to carve new ones. So I ask you now, what new pattern will you carve today? What habit will you repeat until your brain has no choice but to believe it? Will you wire courage or keep rehearsing fear? Will you wire freedom or keep rehearsing chains? Because every thought, every choice, every action is a chisel in your hand, and the brain you sculpt will become the life you live. If you believe, even a spark, that your brain can change, declare it now. Type change in the comments below. Write it as a vow that you will not let your old wiring decide your future. Hit like to anchor this truth inside you to remind your brain that the rewiring has already begun. Remember, Michael rewired his life. Science confirms it is possible, and deep down, you feel the truth of it calling you. Because the question is no longer whether your brain can change. The question is, will you choose to change it? And beyond that, a deeper mystery waits. Because if your brain can be rewired, what about the darker parts inside you? The shadows you've tried to hide, the pieces you've feared to face, what role do they play in your transformation? It is the very part of you that you reject that holds the key to your hidden power. Think about that for a moment. The shadows you've spent years avoiding, the fears you've buried, the anger you've denied, the shame you've hidden even from yourself. What if those pieces are not your enemy, but the locked doors to your strength? Carl Jung said it best. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. How many times have you felt trapped by cycles you didn't understand? The same failures, the same patterns, the same voices inside whispering that you are not enough. That is not fate. That is the unconscious pulling your strings in the dark. And here's the paradox. The more you run from your shadow, the stronger it becomes. The more you deny it, the louder it grows. But the moment you turn to face it, something extraordinary happens. The monster becomes a mentor. The enemy becomes an ally. The darkness becomes the doorway to your light. David, a Silicon Valley entrepreneur, once built a company that collapsed overnight. The failure nearly destroyed him. He tried to bury the shame, to pretend it didn't exist, but the more he denied it, the more his decisions were ruled by fear of failing again. He played safe, he avoided risks, and his second company began crumbling too. Until one night, exhausted and cornered, David stopped running. He admitted the truth. He was terrified of failure. He sat with that fear. He let himself feel the shame he had spent years suppressing. And in that brutal honesty, he discovered something hidden. The fear wasn't there to destroy him. It was there to remind him how deeply he cared. It was proof that his work mattered. And once he embraced that shadow, he rebuilt. This time stronger. This time wiser. This time aligned with both his light and his dark. Today, David leads a thriving company and teaches young founders not to fear their shadows, but to listen to them. Because inside the shadow lies the raw material of power. So now I ask you, what shadows are running your life? Is it the fear of rejection, the wound of abandonment, the guilt of past mistakes? What if the thing you've been hiding from is the very thing you need to face to break free? The truth is simple but terrifying. You cannot heal what you refuse to face. You cannot master what you deny exists, and you cannot step into your full power while leaving part of yourself in the dark. But when you dare to look, when you dare to bring light into the hidden places, something awakens. Your shadow transforms. Your fear becomes fuel. Your pain becomes wisdom. Your weakness becomes strength. This is not philosophy. This is psychology. Studies show that repressed emotions don't vanish. They shape your behavior unconsciously. Only by bringing them into awareness can you reclaim your freedom. So let me be direct. Stop running. Stop hiding. Your shadow is not here to curse you. It is here to guide you. It is the gatekeeper to your highest potential. Now pause and feel into this moment. What is the shadow you've avoided the longest? What would happen if, instead of fighting it, you embraced it? Would it crush you, or would it unlock the power you've been searching for? David's story is a mirror, and your shadow is calling you now. So if you are brave enough, if you are willing to look into the dark corners of your own being, declare it. Type shadow in the comments below. Let the world know you are ready to face yourself. Hit like if you refuse to let denial control your destiny any longer. Because here is the truth. The shadow will not disappear, but it can transform. It can shift from saboteur to ally, from enemy to teacher, from darkness to the very soil where your light takes root. So I leave you with this question, one that demands an answer deep from your soul. If the shadow is not the destroyer, how can you transform it into the ally that lifts you higher? When you speak with your darkness, it becomes a loyal ally. Strange, isn't it? The very thing you feared the most, the shadow you thought would consume you, is waiting to serve you. But only if you dare to face it. For years, humanity has been taught to fight the dark, to silence the pain, to bury the shame, to numb the fear. But science and psychology are finally confirming what ancient wisdom always knew. Acceptance is the bridge. Self-compassion research shows that when you embrace the parts of yourself you once rejected, your nervous system calms, your energy stabilizes, your power grows steady and unshakable. Because the truth is this, darkness is not here to destroy you. It is here to reveal what you have yet to claim. Linda, a teacher from Chicago, once walked a path drenched in shadows. Addiction gripped her. Her nights were filled with regret, her mornings heavy with shame. She tried to fight it, to push it away, to hate the parts of herself that felt weak. But the harder she fought, the tighter the grip became. Until one day, everything changed. Not because she conquered the darkness, but because she began to listen to it. She sat in silence and asked her pain, "What are you trying to teach me?" And slowly, the darkness answered. It told her she had been starving for love. It told her she had been running from her own worth. It told her that what she thought was weakness was actually a cry for healing. By facing her shadow with compassion instead of war, she found strength she never imagined. She rebuilt her life, step by step. And now Linda stands as a beacon of light, inspiring others who are still trapped in their own storms. Her darkness did not vanish. It transformed. It became the soil from which her light could rise. So let me ask you, what if the very battle you're fighting is not meant to be won, but embraced? What if your shadow is not a monster, but a messenger? What if every fear, every wound, every piece of brokenness is secretly holding a gift waiting for you to unwrap it? Because here is the paradox. When you reject the dark, you feed it. When you resist it, you make it stronger. But when you turn toward it with compassion, it dissolves into wisdom. It becomes your ally, your compass, your guide. This is not weakness. This is mastery. Self-compassion is not about giving up. It is about taking back control of the energy that once controlled you. Studies show that people who practice acceptance and compassion regulate their emotions more effectively, recover from stress faster, and build deeper resilience. And isn't that what you want? Not just to survive your darkness, but to rise from it unshaken, unbreakable, unstoppable. Linda's story proves what is possible when you stop running. She didn't destroy her darkness. She befriended it. She gave it a seat at the table, and in doing so, she took back her throne. Now, the same choice is standing in front of you. Will you keep fighting shadows in the dark, exhausting yourself, feeding the cycle? Or will you dare to speak with them, listen to them, learn from them, and transform them into light? This is not just inspiration, this is invitation. And the moment you accept it, your life will never be the same. So declare it now. If you're ready to turn your darkness into light, comment light below. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Write it as a declaration that your shadow no longer rules you. Hit like if you feel the shift already happening inside you, the moment your heart whispers, I am ready to transform. Because this is your turning point, your chance to reclaim every part of yourself. And the question that follows is just as important, just as urgent. If you can turn darkness into light, how will you tell your story in a way that stirs millions of hearts and awakens the same courage in them? By telling the story through the rhythm of your own heartbeat, because when you speak from that raw pulse inside you, something extraordinary happens. Your words bypass logic, they bypass doubt, they slip directly into the listener's nervous system, and suddenly, they don't just hear you, they feel you. Science from Stanford confirms this. When someone listens to a story, their brain lights up as if they are living the experience themselves. Not watching, not imagining, living. The same neurons that would fire if they were running, loving, or fearing ignite simply because you told them a story. This is the secret. Storytelling is not information, it is transmission. It is energy moving from your heartbeat into theirs. Look at Steve Jobs. In 2005 at Stanford University, he stood before thousands of graduates. No slides, no flashy visuals, just 3 stories from his own life. One about dropping out of college, one about love and loss at Apple, and one about death. The world was hypnotized because he didn't lecture, he didn't preach, he shared pieces of his heart, messy, vulnerable, real. And those stories didn't just inspire that graduating class, they rippled across the globe. Millions still watch them today. Why? Because the human soul doesn't remember data, it remembers story. And here's the part you must not ignore. You already have stories inside you, moments of pain, moments of triumph, moments where you broke and moments where you rebuilt. But the power lies not only in living them, the power lies in telling them, with rhythm, with emotion, with your heartbeat as the drum. So let me ask you, when was the last time you told your story? Not the polished version, not the version you hide behind, the raw version, the trembling, imperfect truth. Because that's the version that hypnotizes. That's the version that touches lives. Do not underestimate this. A single story can move more people than 1,000 facts. A single vulnerable moment can break down walls that years of effort could not. And your story, yes, yours, might be the one someone is waiting to hear in order to step into their own light. But here's the urgency. Stories untold die in silence. They fade with time. They vanish, taking their power with them. And the world never receives the medicine they were meant to carry. So what story inside you is begging to be spoken? What memory still beats like a second heart in your chest? What truth, if shared, could awaken someone else from their sleep? Jobs proved it, science proves it, and deep down you already feel it. Your story is not just yours, it is a bridge. And every time you tell it, someone on the other side finds their way across. So here is your invitation. Tell your story, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if you think no one is listening, because you never know who needs it most. Right now, I challenge you. If you want to learn the art of magnetic storytelling, declare it. Type story in the comments below, not later, not someday, now, because this is the moment to honor your heartbeat and let it speak. Hit like to seal this truth inside you so that the next time your story rises in your chest, you don't push it down, you let it out, you let it breathe, you let it transform. And remember, storytelling is not just about words, it is about energy. It is about transmuting your scars into sparks, your struggles into songs. And when you do that, the story stops being yours alone. It becomes ours, it becomes the world's. But then comes the greater question, the one that will ignite the next step. Once you have your story, how do you turn it into a quantum leap, an actual transformation in your life, here and now? A quantum leap is not a giant decision, but the smallest choice you make right now. Think about that. It's not the massive move that changes everything overnight. It's the tiniest shift, the smallest step, the single yes in the middle of all your no's that sets off a chain reaction you can't even imagine. We've been told to wait for the perfect moment, to prepare endlessly, to build courage first. But here's the truth. Courage is not something you wait for. It's something you create by moving, even when your hands shake. Science proves it. B.J. Fogg from Stanford discovered that micro habits, tiny, almost invisible actions, are the seeds of massive transformation. Brush one tooth, stretch for 30 seconds, wake up just 10 minutes earlier. These micro movements rewire the brain, stacking into habits, building momentum, and eventually rewriting your entire destiny. John, an athlete from the US, knew this truth in his bones. Years ago, he wasn't a champion. He wasn't even close. He was ordinary, tired, out of shape, almost ready to quit. But one morning, he made a decision. Not a massive one, just a micro choice. To wake up 10 minutes earlier, to move his body, to start running just one block. At first, it seemed insignificant. 10 minutes? One block? It felt like nothing. But day by day, the habit grew. His runs became longer, his mornings became sharper, his discipline expanded into every part of his life. And 2 years later, John crossed the finish line as a marathon champion, not because of one huge leap, but because of thousands of micro leaps, stacked together into something extraordinary. So I ask you, what is your smallest choice today? Not tomorrow, not when life calms down, now. Will you sit in silence for 1 minute? Will you write one sentence of your vision? Will you put down your phone and breathe deeply, just once? Because here's the secret. The smallest choice cracks the timeline wide open. One shift leads to another. One breath creates space for a new thought. One thought plants the seed for new action. And suddenly your future is no longer locked. It's alive. It's changing. It's expanding. Don't underestimate the power of small. Small is the doorway. Small is the match that lights the fire. Small is the step that bridges you into a reality you never thought possible. So here's my challenge for you. Stop waiting for the giant leap. Stop postponing your destiny until everything feels perfect. Perfection is an illusion. Momentum is real, and momentum starts now. If John could transform his life with 10 minutes, what could you do with one? Close your eyes and imagine the chain reaction. Imagine looking back a year from now, your life unrecognizable, because today you made the smallest but most important choice. So let's anchor it. If you are ready to leap, not tomorrow, not someday, but today, comment right now below. Type it as a declaration that your future begins in this moment. Hit like if you feel the pulse of change already inside you, whispering that this is your turning point, because this isn't just another video. This is the crack in the wall, the door in the dark, the chance to make your micro choice and watch it expand into your quantum leap. And now the question burns, waiting for your soul to answer. After all these leaps, after every step forward, what awaits you on the other side of all this transformation? What awaits you is not far away. It is here. It is now. It is in this very breath when you finally remember the truth. You are the creator. Think back to where we began, the invisible call, that whisper in your chest that told you there was more. At first, you felt fear that paralyzed you, fear that convinced you to wait. But then you saw that fear is not the enemy. It is the compass. It pointed to the exact place where your old self was dissolving. From there, we moved deeper. We saw that your nervous system resists not because you are broken, but because for thousands of years the body was wired for survival, not expansion. And yet, neuroplasticity showed us that the brain is not fixed. It can be reshaped. It can be trained. It can be rewired into freedom. We entered the shadows together. The parts you denied, the pieces you rejected. And you saw the truth. The darkness does not destroy you. It protects the key to your hidden power. When you turned toward it, when you dared to listen, it transformed into your ally. And then, the story, the heartbeat, the rhythm of your own life turned into a tale that could awaken millions. You realized storytelling is not entertainment. It is medicine. It is the way your soul transmits its truth into the world. Finally, we came to the leap. Not the giant leap, not the fantasy of one massive decision, but the smallest choice repeated again and again until the quantum field itself bends in your favor. That was your doorway. That was your proof that transformation is not someday, it is now. And so we arrive here at the truth that ties it all together. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not trapped by fear. You are not waiting for permission. You are the author, the architect, the one who collapses infinite possibilities into one chosen reality. Look at Michelle Obama. Born on the south side of Chicago, in a small apartment with limited means, she faced barriers at every step. Society told her no. Circumstances told her not for you. But she didn't surrender to those voices. She wrote her own. Through discipline, courage, and relentless choice, she carved a path from hardship to the White House. And even there, she didn't stop. She turned her story into a global force of inspiration, lighting fires inside millions who once doubted themselves. Her life proves this truth. Your beginning does not dictate your ending. Your past does not dictate your power. Your present choice does. And so I turn to you, right here, right now. This is the moment of commitment. If you are ready to embody what you've discovered, fear, shadow, light, story, leap, then declare it. Type in the comments, I am the creator. Write it, and something will shift inside you. Not tomorrow, not later. The very moment you type it, your nervous system begins to align with the identity of the creator. Do not underestimate this. Words spoken are energy released. Words written are energy anchored. And when you declare yourself the creator, you lock in a timeline where your power can no longer be ignored. So now I call you to action. Like this video, if you felt the fire inside you, share it with someone you love, because maybe their breakthrough depends on you passing this forward. Save it so that when doubt returns, as it will, you have this reminder that you are more than your fear. And most importantly, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that every week you receive not just another video, but another infusion of strength for your journey. This is bigger than a video. This is a community, and you are part of it. Your comment, your story, your courage. They don't just change you, they change all of us. So write below, even just a short line, and watch how the very act of declaring your power ripples outward. Remember, Michelle didn't wait for the world to recognize her worth. She embodied it, she spoke it, she lived it, and in doing so, she changed the world. Now it's your turn. This is your invitation. This is your moment. This is your breath of creation. Say it, type it, live it. I am the creator. And from this moment on, the world will never look the same again. Thank you for choosing this video out of millions. Thank you for giving your heart, your time, your presence. Now let's rise together. Like, comment, share, and let's build a community so strong that no fear, no shadow, no obstacle can ever silence us again.